All right, our second driver from Stuart Haas, also piloting Ford this year. Welcome, Danica Patrick. Danica, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, interesting.
Nice to semi-see all of you and all this light.
So, interesting shoes. Those are.
Thank you. I have short socks on, so I was trying to pull them down since I don't have the bell bottoms. I believe I'm the last woman standing without the bell bottoms.
I think so.
I got
All
them
right.
at 4th of July, and I decided that I really like red, white, and blue, so I might as well just keep them.
Stand up and salute. All right, let's go ahead and open the floor for questions here for Danica. We'll go right here to start.
Caleb Whistler, Speedway Digest. After 2 seasons finishing outside of the top 20 in points, what are your goals and expectations for 2017 to be outside, to be more into like the top 10, top 15 in points?
Those are my goals. The goal is to do better all the time, and hopefully that some of the things that have changed within our team, the big one being changing over to Ford, will open up some opportunities and possibilities and some just pure potential for the team, and we can improve, and hopefully there's more room to improve now. So that's kind of exciting to me. I'm optimistic, and hopefully it'll be something that makes the difference. But the goal is to, finish. I mean, I think if you're in the top 15 every weekend, then, you do a little bit better, and then you're in the top 10. And once you're in the top 10, then, good pit stops, good strategy, all the things that play into it. Some of the new formats for the races can play into segment wins. So I think it's important to be realistic. And so to tell you to go out and win races and segments is not something I necessarily think is going to happen right away, but we'll assess. We'll assess how strong we are as a team, and a few years back we were really strong, and I felt like that's where I was running by the end of the year, was up in the top 15 and getting into the top 10. So hopefully we can get back to that and work from there.
All right, let's go here to Bob.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. Have you done anything different this offseason to prepare for 2017?
I don't think there's a whole lot to do different for me exactly, other than I've been more proactive with what it's going to take to do better. So saying, sitting down with Billy and saying, I don't feel like we really ended up where we wanted to be last year. We felt like we would be better. And so, I asked the question, what are we going to do different? Because if we're going to do the same thing, we can only expect the same results. So what can we change that's going to change that? And, like I say all the time, if you want something that you've never had before, you're going to have to do something you've never done. And so what is that? What is that we can do? And so Billy and I sat down and thought about those things, and we thought about some ideas as to what would help. Some of it is I don't know. Some of it is I don't know what we could do different or better here. But I think that ultimately the most important thing overall is that everybody shows up to work, not to work, but to work great and be great. And, there's a big difference when you put 20-odd people or whatever working on a car that all want to be great and exceed expectations and do whatever it takes to meet their potential versus showing up. And that goes for me, Billy, every single person on the team. So what can we do different? And there's some answers, and there's some that you don't have answers for, because if you knew the exact answer to be better, you would have done it already.
All right, we'll go back here next to the mountain of pizza boxes and then up to Holly Kane.
Jenna Fryer, AP.
Pizza boxes, is that what you...
We have we've got pizza because this part of the table is not following the Danica regimen and routine.
Yeah, I do like pizza though.
But Gluck is following it, and
is he?
Yeah, and he's really toning up.
Is he really? Are you doing the program? Oh. Well, if you used to have 4, then that's a little better. Well, the night is young.
The night is young. So the program, the book, the exercise line, all of that you've got going on. I know that you have a lot of hobbies and your brand is very strong. Is it wrong, though, if we're to presume that you're building something for post-racing?
Yes, if you're wrong in thinking that's the purpose. The purpose is I wanted, these are the things that I have done outside of racing that all really are happening because of racing, are really just hobbies. And I've wanted a clothing line for 10 years. And I felt like, 10 years ago, it seemed like everybody was doing it. I'm like, well, gosh, everybody's doing it. But I really have a passion for this. So, hey, you know what? I'm in no rush. Let's make sure that it's the right opportunity when it comes along. So actually, how it ended up happening was I went to this company, G3, to figure out how I could do something within the merchandising world to make some money on T-shirt sales at the racetrack. And how could that look? And how could I partner with somebody to create that for myself? And because G3 manufactured the Touch products for Alyssa Milano. And so that's the kind of lead in that we got. And the conversations with them and all the very important people at that company just kind of took on a life of its own, and they even more than I already knew even at that meeting or going away from it. So these are, what comes easy is when you do things on a daily basis. I mean, the book with recipes, I cook like crazy. I cook all the time. Anybody that follows me knows I do that. So, and I always have. So a lot of this stuff is just really easy and second nature. It's more about like putting pen to paper on what exactly I am doing, whether it be a workout or a recipe or what kind of styles I like, and sending those pictures to the designers. That's more what it's about, is just following through on what do I do with these ideas and things that I do, and making some of my hobbies, turn into something bigger. So it's, I wanted the right opportunity to answer your question. And so if it happened last year, it would have been great. If it happened next year, or if it happened someday when I'm done racing, that would be fine too. It's more about, I feel like with a lot of these things, I have one shot at it, and it's about being with the right people. And so I just came to a situation where I felt like I was with the right people.
All right, we'll go to Jordan, Holly. We'll try to get to Lewis and in the back. We're racing against the clock here.
Jordan Bianchi, SB Nation.
That's the name of the game.
Jordan Bianchi, SBNation.com. Seeing your teammates win races and be consistently competitive, is it frustrating or is it encouraging?
Whoa, you came out of the box strong right there. Something about my teammates winning.
Seeing your teammates win races and be competitive, is it encouraging or is it frustrating?
Implying that I'm not. Or I don't know what you're...
They had top 10 races last year.
It's a great thing when your teammates are fast because you know that there's potential. It's just figuring out how you get there. And so that's the question that needs an answer, and figuring it out is the challenge. And NASCAR is very hard. And, there's definitely a great amount of experience around me, and there are some substitutes for that, but not commonly. So the more experience I get, the better I'll be at being prepared to do well. And but beyond that, then I have resources, which is always a positive.
Holly.
Hi, Danica. Holly, KNASCAR.com. I wanted you to speak to the change in the way the points are done. And I know that you're still going for your first victory, but do you think the way the points are changed, is that something that you can play with a little bit more differently, the strategy in terms of accumulating? And is this something that you think will be, beneficial?
I think that the new structure for the races is cool. I think that, winning is something that for a fan, it's easy to understand, and for a really casual fan, it's even easier to understand. So I think that having a lot more winners every week and throughout the year is a cool thing. But what I have said is I feel like this is definitely going to be a big chore for the crew chiefs. I'm sure that they are, if I were them, I would already be nervous or trying to think of scenarios. I'd probably be waking up or going to bed thinking, if this happened and then we were running here, but we were you're running through all these scenarios in your head, what would you do? I feel like it's going to be challenging because as far as the driver goes, I do try and drive the fastest laps I can every single lap. I'm doing my best unless there's a reason to slow down, like fuel or tires are going off or something like that, or you want to maintain your tire life, something like that. So, but I think it's going to be exciting as long as the information of the format can be translated to the fan or average fan in a simple, understandable way. I think it'll be cool.
Well, Danica, thank you for your time.